Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I told you these guys lie, and I didn't have to tell you because you already knew, I hope. But I also told you that sometimes when they talk about, let's say, these glasses, and they don't want to tell you these glasses suck, or they don't want to tell you they're very expensive, and they say, well, they're good, but very expensive. They will talk about it, how fantastic they are, but they will avoid telling you the price. How will you find out the price? The price you will find from another article that we're going to discuss the iPad. And when they discuss the iPad, they will talk in passing about the glasses. And while they say they're very good glasses, but they're very expensive, say what? Therefore, certain things you will not find about certain subjects that are hidden, not mentioned, lying by omission, but you find it during another article when they talk about this and then they mention this. So this is one of those examples when you find out that what they have been saying is partly true or partly a lie. It's up to you to figure it out. Why? Look at this article. I have two articles about the same subject, one from the Telegraph and the other one from the Kiev Independent. Then they mention the UK intelligence. So the UK intelligence did a little study, an intelligence report, and they came with this conclusion. The Telegraph: Russia targets Ukraine's defense industry as it prepares for a long war. That's the first one. And the second one, Kiev Independent: UK Defense Ministry: Russian attacks shift focus from energy to defense industry. Now, your first question should be, if you're familiar with what happened in the past 5 days or 6 days, say what? Didn't you say that the Russians were attacking civilian infrastructure? Didn't you say that it was a massive attack on Ukrainian cities? Yes, that's exactly what he said. And now they tell us that they shift focus from energy to defense industry. So that tells me that they were lying about the Russians hitting cities. So they were actually targeting defense industry. Well, it's up to you to reach your own conclusion. But for me, that's not surprising. It's just the next day. It happened yesterday, the day before, the 29th, the 30th, when the Russians conducted those massive attacks on, we were told, big cities, Kiev and so on, which they occurred, but it tells us like this. Remember the 158 missiles and drones that the Russians launched on the whatever last day or something like this, and then the next day and so on. They were telling us that the Russians attacked civilians and they retaliated because of Belgorod, which was a lie. So let's read this article. The first one from the Telegraph, because they don't lie. What's over here? Ukraine hits Russia. Panic in Belgorod as retaliatory strike hit city. Now they did this before. January 3rd. Russian forces are targeting Ukraine's defense industry with long-range strikes in a tactical switch as Moscow prepares for a long war. British intelligence officials have said, we gotta believe them. After all, they found Saddam Hussein's weapons of mass destruction. Remember those mobile labs? Yeah, okay. The attacks are part of an escalating missile and drone duel between Russia and Ukraine, with both sides bidding to degrade one another's military and industrial capacity, while the front lines remain largely static. Now, is it? The Ministry of Defense assessment came as Kiev launched a wave of strikes on occupied Crimea and a Russian border region on Wednesday in what appeared to be retaliatory assaults for the barrage on Ukrainian cities the previous day. Britain's Ministry of Defense said a volley of around 100 high-velocity projectiles aimed at the capital Kiev and Kharkiv on Tuesday had likely targeted drone and missile producers. Say what? Now you're telling us this is the article regarding this, and they tell us about this, how much they cost. Remember, they told us that they attacked in the same thing. They attacked the Ukrainian cities right here, right here. on Ukrainian cities the previous day. And then I say Tuesday likely targeted Ukraine drone and missile producers. Anyway, Russia appeared set to start this campaign by hitting energy sites in early December 2023, it added. This new operation suggests at least a temporary change of approach in Russia's long-range strikes. Russian plan almost certainly recognize the growing importance of relative defense industrial capacity as they prepare for a long war. Now, the Russians said from the very beginning, we're going to target anything that comes from abroad, including the Rheinmetall little factory that they want to build it in Zakarpattia by Ukraine and Romania and Hungary. They said, we're going to destroy all this. You just build them and we're going to hit them. And Rheinmetall said, yeah, and we're going to protect them with our air defense systems. Why don't you go to wherever they're located? In Stuttgart or what, Berlin? Where are they located? I mean, if you challenge us, we're going to hit you right there. No? No, why? You can't hit us, only we can hit you. And we're going to hurt you. But you can't hurt us because it's not fair. It's not equitable. All right, so the defense industry source in Ukraine told The Economist that the recent strikes had been targeted at sites connected to domestic missiles and drone production. So where are the fucking cities? There were some attacks. They saw some debris and all that burning, supposedly. A defense industry source in Ukraine. The attacks had strategic meaning for the enemy. Oh, really? So they're not turds? With the aim of reducing our capacity to strike, the source said. It's a battle to see who can destroy more of the enemy's long-range weapons. All right, my friends? Let's go to the next article. UK Defense Ministry. Russian attacks shift focus from energy to defense industry. And they show me the city of what? Kiev? Yeah, Kiev. Recent Russian long-range strikes against Ukraine primarily targeted defense industry targets. Okay. In contrast with the last year, again, they recognize the this and that. So, my friends, that's how you find out the truth sometimes. You have to be, how do I call it? You have to persevere. You have to pay attention. You have to be vigilant. You have to memorize. But first of all, you have to spend some time trying to figure things out, because the truth is out there. It's just you have to sometimes look deeper. They are actually not covering the truth with lies. The truth is like look for, I don't know, diamonds. You don't have to go too deep in the ground. They're just like 1 foot beneath your feet. Why? Because they know people are too lazy to dig 1 foot down. That's all. The same here. They know that people are too lazy, and some of them have more problems in their lives and they don't have time. I understand everyone too. They don't have time to pay attention to this garbage. They don't have time. Some people have problems. We all have problems, more or less. Work is hard. We work all day. I remember when I came to the United States of America, I worked for a roofing company, and I was working from morning until the sun was going down. When the sun was going down, we were coming down, and that's it, like a rooster. That's it. Night, go back. So if in the summer, you can imagine, we were on the roof when the sun was coming out. And then we were going down the roof, getting all the materials down, all the tools, when the sun was out, down the horizon. And that was every day. Why? Because what if it rains the next week? So we will work Saturday and Sunday, so in case it rains, we have that covered and so on. I mean, it was not a bad philosophy, but you were mandated, you had to do this. So again, so my point is, I was working so hard and so tired that I didn't have time. Every day you were like a little mouse on the whatever spinning wheel. You didn't have time to rest, to eat, anything. You just work, eat, sleep, whatever. That's all. And then the year goes by and you say, wait a minute, that's not what I wanted. It was just the beginning. So it's like the brain freezes. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people, hardworking people, are too busy doing other things instead of seeing these guys, or how do I put it, checking, hey, these guys are, what's the next, when I'm going to talk about this, I'm going to talk about that too. Too busy with the life, to making a living. Not getting rich, to make a living. Some people are trying that, and then you have problems. You are sick, you're fired, you have children, you have neighbors, you have wives, husbands, and so on, family. All these things keep you away. But you have people like me and others who just summarize things like this and point out. So in 15 minutes or whatever this is, 13 minutes, 10 minutes, 11 minutes, you can get with the example what the hell happened. And that's it. You don't have to follow. I like that too when I was watching intensively and regularly certain kind of people and getting information and knowledge, and then I would verify, and you connect the dots. Having brain, not only memory. That's the whole point. Reach conclusions based on the facts, the knowledge that you have, the information that you have. That's the whole point. Memorizing is easy. We all memorize more or less, but the problem is to be able to bring back the information that you have, put it together and reach a conclusion based on the situation and say, hey, this is my assessment. But how do you reach this conclusion? Because I remember that. And once you reach a conclusion, then with that conclusion, you have many conclusions that you drew, and you put them together, you see the big picture, or at least more of a big picture that you saw before. So here is, my friends, maybe, the Russians, maybe, I want to say 99% certain the Russians were hitting targets inside the cities. But the problem is they were telling us the Russians were doing only that up till today and yesterday, when they started telling us, actually, the Russians changed. Really. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.